Returning home to a sublime state, Arthur sat down to watch TV as a habit, then went to the internet and caught himself watching entertainment videos uncontrollably. And again, as after the first visit to the tantric class, after 2 hours of sitting in front of the screen, he felt that the sublime emotions were leaving. Instead of subtle experiences, the same old meaningless state arose in him. So why are TV and the internet so effective? What's the matter? Perhaps it is better not to watch TV or go on the internet at all, if it deprives me of the sublime states. I've brought something. Look! He pulled a litter jar full of mushrooms with dotted red caps from behind his back with a solemn look. Are you out of your mind? Why did you bring them to me? You don't know anything. These are not poisonous mushrooms as people think of them. They are guides to the subtle plane. In ancient times, they were taken by the Magi, and they are still eaten by shaman. Try them, and you'll see for yourself. But the main thing is not to eat them just like that. Otherwise, you will see nothing but hallucinations. Tune into something you want to know, to see, and Fly Agaric will reveal it to you. Arthur looked at his friend skeptically at first, but seeing his seriousness and determination, he decided to give it a try. Yes. What am I doing? Okay, let it be so. The friends began to eat the mushrooms carefully, but first Arthur tried to tune into the subtle plane and understand why he was so influenced by the television, which was just working on the pedestal, showing another series. Soon, Arthur felt that everything in front of him swam, became somehow transparent, unreal. He stared at the screen of the working TV and saw his energy flowing there as he watched. Through his eyes, it was going somewhere into the screen, and from the screen an endless stream of numbers and letters was coming at him. He decided to figure out what it was, and suddenly he heard a voice giving him directions.
You can't live without TV. You want to be like everyone else. You are easily influenced by everything. You don't have the strength to resist. You don't have an opinion. You do what you are told.
Unable to bear it any longer, Arthur made an attempt to smash the zombie TV, but his body did not obey him, and he simply turned away, so as not to see this stream of stupefying compulsion.
You are easily influenced by everything.
And then he began to have various visions, and in one of them he saw a huge Fly Agaric that was smiling at him. Then worms began to crawl out of it. They gnawed at the mushroom until it completely disintegrated into small pieces. When Arthur came to his senses after the vision, he felt sick and vomited. After that, he saw his friend Ruslan sitting on the sofa with a green face and fear in his eyes. As it turned out, he had a nightmare. I saw myself as a sick old man, and how I died and lived in the grave as a corpse. Arthur shared his vision, and Ruslan agreed that he too had experienced similar things after watching TV. Coming to the university the next day for an organizational meeting, the friends went to the assembly hall, where several streams of students, teachers, and even the rector had already gathered. When they saw that the podium was free, Arthur climbed onto the stage, took the microphone, and emotionally addressed the people. Friends, I want to warn you, don't watch TV. It is a zombie machine. It takes away your energy and transmits to you the attitudes of the authorities who want to keep you in line so that you do not think and are will-less sheep dancing to their tune. I don't know what they do. Maybe they use the 25th frame, but we are constantly being drugged from the screen.
Give me the microphone. Get off the stage at once. You better study hard for the session. What do you know, you C student?
What are you talking about? I get dumb after every session because of your cramming. You clog our brains with useless, not applicable in life knowledge. What you can read in a reference book or look up in an internet search. There's no need to cram. It's dulling. It would be better to teach us to think creatively, to develop logic, to solve riddles. But you think thinking is dangerous, don't you?
Get him out of here.
Two sturdy men in uniforms marked security immediately went to Arthur and, climbing onto the stage, began to drag him off. In the meantime, there was a general clamor, noise, and applause in the hall. Well done! That's right! That's it! With the general clamor, Arthur was led out of the hall, and Rustlin followed him to support his friend. Way to go, man! Well done. By the way, I was thinking, we have a rap festival coming up in the city. Do you want me to arrange for you to perform there before the concert? Wow, you can do that? I know one of the organizers. I'll talk to him about it. I think he won't mind. On the appointed day, Arthur came to Alice's house and invited her to the rap festival. I want to invite you to rap festival. I'll be performing there. Rustlin has already arranged it. He's waiting for us.
Okay.
They took a cab and drove to the place, but at the crossroads, something terrible happened. A truck crashed into them at full speed. Arthur saw with his side vision how the huge truck flew straight at their car. The last thing Arthur felt was an attack of sharp burning pain. Then there was tinnitus and a sensation of being pulled into a tunnel. He found himself hovering above the intersection. He could see the crumbled car and his mangled body lying next to it. It had flown through the windshield during the car crash. He saw 3 men nearby and immediately realized that they were the ones responsible for the accident. He knew their thoughts. These people worked in the Secret Service and were just now calling to report to their superiors. Arthur wanted to know who was behind all this, so he was instantly transported to a scientific laboratory. There were many different devices in the room, and in the very center of the room, there was a tube with a socket extending to the end.
Want to be like everyone else.
He realized that it was a psychotronic generator. A man was sitting in front of the tube and speaking the setting that Arthur had already heard when he ate the mushroom. A general was standing next to it, talking on the phone to the bastards who had caused the accident. Where am I? The knowledge came to him that this is a closed research institute from where the zombie influence is transmitted to all TV channels, the internet, and cellular communication. At that moment, the guy felt as if he was being sucked into some tunnel again, and he woke up in the intensive care unit. Arthur recovered quickly. He had a severe concussion and head injury. As soon as he recovered enough to be able to walk, he immediately ran away from the ward and started looking for Alice, despite the severe dizziness and nausea. Rustlin met him and told him that things were bad. Alice had been trapped in the car, and it had taken a long time to get her out. Her spine was damaged, and her legs were paralyzed. Having more or less returned to normal, Arthur felt that now he simply had no right to stop fighting, that he had to open people's eyes to what the authorities were doing to them, how they were being zombified and indoctrinated with slave programs using a psychotronic generator. Then he went to the university again and, going into one classroom where there were 200 students, began to tell them about his experience of clinical death and what he had seen. But no sooner had he finished his story than security guards and orderlies rushed into the auditorium.
Don't touch him. Let him go.
We want to listen to him.
Yes.
Enough of making fools of us.
We want to know the truth.
They grabbed Arthur, put him in a straitjacket, and took him to a mental hospital. Lyra came to Alice when she heard of her grief. Alice, who was sitting in a wheelchair, burst into tears when she saw her.
Don't be upset, dear.
Why is this happening to me? I must have bad karma and have been a terrible sinner in my past life.
No, my dear. Difficult situations are not a sign of bad karma. After all, God created us as we are. He created the world as it is. And if someone sins, then it's God's fault too.
Maybe it is the devil who has created such severe sufferings for me.
Yes, the devil creates them, but he does not act on his own. He does only what God permits. If the devil were acting on his own, then God would not be omnipotent and omniscient if he had so carelessly created Satan. But God allows suffering so that we may reflect on life, learn to see things correctly, and become wiser. Because if there were no evil, we would always stay in a careless, meaningless state, not even thinking about the meaning of life, not striving to change ourselves and develop.
What should I realize?
Each lesson is deep and multifaceted. I can't explain it in 2 words. But think about it. You suffer from comparison. You compare your present self with your former self, yourself with others. If you were born disabled and everyone around you was the same, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Let go of comparisons. Live in the here and now. And you also suffer, like any healthy person who is doing well, from thinking about yourself, worrying about yourself. Try to think about others, what good you can do for them, how you can help them. Right now, I want to publish a magazine about Tantra and spirituality and things like that. You can be a journalist, an editor, work at the computer. You will help a lot of people to develop.
I'm afraid that Arthur will not love me anymore now. That no one will want me.
That could have happened even if you were healthy. We're not immune to trouble and misfortune. But if you can rightly accept this hard lesson from God, maybe your situation will change.
How? How can it change now?
Calm down, my dear. God works in mysterious ways, but we will all help you in any way we can. And you'd better think not about suffering and possible blows of fate, but about how you can help people, how you will love them and the whole world more and more every day. Then there will be fewer bad situations. Believe me. Here, take this flash drive. There is spiritual music recorded here that will help you in this difficult moment. Try to turn your suffering into compassion for people.
After Lyra left, Alice opened the flash drive in her laptop and began listening to a concert of spiritual chants. The song, "God Will Not Give Us Burdens Beyond Our Strength," was especially helpful. Tears of purification flowed down Alice's cheeks. A light, elevated state appeared, in which it became easier for her to accept her situation and tune in to love and help people.
Душой